With the World Cup 2018 in Russia just weeks away, and nations starting to finalize their rosters for the tournament, managers are making crucial decisions about who is best suited to help their squads fight for glory in the tournament. Of course, there are only a couple of dozen spots on the team sheet, so somebody will have to be left out. Here are 5 big-name players who, perhaps controversially, did not receive the call to represent their countries this summer. Number 5. Alexandre Lacazette. The 26-year-old French striker just completed his first season at Arsenal after moving away from boyhood club Lyon last summer, and has been a player in form as of late, notching himself on the score sheet in 5 of his last 6 league appearances. Despite scoring 14 goals in 32 Premier League games as a whole for the Gunners this season, Lacazette finds himself on the outside looking in on this stacked French squad. Manager Didier Deschamps opted for Olivier Giroud and Antoine Griezmann instead, 2 players with a bit more experience representing France up top and banging in the goals in international competition. On most other national teams, Lacazette would be a shoo-in to have his name on the top of the team sheet, but not for France with its embarrassment of attacking talent. He is on the standby list though, so, given an injury, Andre could find himself on the pitch in Russia after all. Number 4. Raja Nainggolan. Next on the list is the 30-year-old Belgian midfielder Raja Nainggolan. The Roma man has been a fixture in the midfield for his club for the better part of a decade, providing a strong physical presence and helping link defense and attack. The same cannot be said for his role in the national side though, as Nainggolan has struggled to find a consistent spot on the team. His one big opportunity came back in Euro 2016, when he played in 4 games, mostly as a substitute, and even scored a goal in the quarterfinal against Wales. When it came time to announce the squads for this tournament, however, Nainggolan's name was nowhere to be found. According to Belgian boss Roberto Martinez, the veteran player had been excluded for tactical reasons. For nations with such deep pools of talent to pull from, managers often choose players based on style of play, and Raja's hard-nosed grit in the midfield was obviously not in the plans. In response to the stub, Nainggolan has retired from international football, so don't expect to see him playing for Belgium anytime soon. Number 3. Jack Wilshere. Just a decade ago, when Jack Wilshere made his debut for Arsenal's first team at the young age of 16, he was heralded as England's next can't-miss wonder kid. Now 26 and still playing for Arsenal, Wilshere's promising career has been somewhat derailed by injuries. His tumultuous time with the club looked to be all but over just a few seasons ago, when he was loaned out to Bournemouth for a year. But this season, Wilshere made his triumphant return to the Emirates, appearing in 38 games throughout all competitions. A technically skilled midfield maestro and a natural-born leader, many thought Wilshere would inject some much-needed veteran leadership into a young England squad in Russia. But when England manager Gareth Southgate announced his 23-man squad for the tournament, Wilshere was a notable exclusion. Taking to Twitter, he defiantly tweeted that he should have been in the team. Perhaps Wilshere can use the downtime, though, to figure out where he will be playing his football next season, as his contract with Arsenal expires later this summer. Number 2. Alvaro Morata. At the start of this past season, the idea that Morata would not make the Spain squad for this summer's World Cup seemed unthinkable. Coming off of a stellar season for Real Madrid, in which he scored 20 goals, Morata's services were purchased by Chelsea for a small fee of £60 million. After having burst onto the scene as a substitute during Euro 2016 a few summers before as well, Morata looked like he would be a fixture in the Spain attack for years to come. After moving to London, he struggled with his fitness, but still managed to score 15 goals for the Blues this year. The big, physical striker looked primed to make a big contribution for his country in Russia. Unfortunately, manager Julian Lopetegui did not agree, as he decided to leave Morata's name off of the World Club team list. Ironically enough, Diego Costa, the man who Morata replaced at Chelsea and whose Spain career was seen as completely over after a horrific showing in Brazil in 2014, made the team. If Alvaro can rekindle his form over the next few years, though, he's young enough at just 25 that we could very well see him representing La Roja in Qatar in 2022. Number 1. Mario Götze. When Mario Götze scored the match-winning goal against Argentina in the 113th minute of the World Cup final back in 2014, he cemented his name in history as one of German football's favorite sons. In the years since his brilliant moment, though, Götze's career has nearly fallen off a cliff. The former prodigy struggled to find his place in the starting 11 at Bayern Munich, and eventually moved back to Borussia Dortmund, where his difficulties continued. He began to suffer from metabolic disturbances, and was diagnosed with the rare disease myopathy, which affected his fitness. Since Götze has been unable to reclaim his form in recent years, German manager Joachim Löw had no choice but to leave his name off the team sheet. A devastated Götze said afterward that he would be cheering on his countrymen from home and crossing his fingers for their victory. Because of his descent from the highest of highs to the low of missing the World Cup team, Götze deserves the number 1 spot on this list. If Germany is to repeat as champions this summer in Russia, they will have to do so without the help of this midfield magician. So, there you have it. Those were the 5 biggest players left out of this summer's World Cup. If you like the video, drop a like and subscribe for daily uploads. Also, be sure to follow Captain's Band on Twitter for more football content.